In 1940, German General Eduard Dietl stood atop a mountain in Narvik, Norway, surrounded by enemy forces. His small contingent of troops faced certain defeat against overwhelming Allied numbers. Yet against all odds, he would emerge victorious, earning the title Hero of Narvik. How did Eduard Dietl pull off this seemingly impossible victory? Today's video explores the complex legacy of a man both celebrated for his military skills and condemned for his allegiance to the Nazi regime. Born in 1890 in the Kingdom of Bavaria, Eduard Dietl joined the 5th Bavarian Infantry Regiment in 1909. When World War I erupted in 1914, Dietl found himself deployed on both the Western and Eastern fronts, gaining valuable experience in trench warfare and small unit tactics. His bravery and leadership skills did not go unnoticed, and by the war's end, Dietl had been promoted to the rank of Hauptmann, captain, and won the Iron Cross First Class. The aftermath of World War I brought significant challenges for Dietl and many other German soldiers. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh restrictions on Germany's military, leaving many veterans feeling bitter and disillusioned. Dietl, like many of his comrades, struggled to find his place in the new Weimar Republic. It was during this tumultuous period that he became involved with far-right groups, including the Freikorps, a paramilitary organization that opposed left-wing movements. As Germany began its rearmament under the Nazi regime in the 1930s, Dietl's political alignment with the Nazi Party positioned himself well for promotion. He rose through the ranks, becoming a colonel in 1944 and taking command of the newly formed Gebirgsjäger mountain troops units. These specialized forces were trained to operate in rugged, mountainous terrain, a skill set that proved crucial in the coming years. Dietl played a key role in developing German mountain warfare tactics during this period. He emphasized the importance of mobility, adaptability, and self-sufficiency in alpine environments. Under his guidance, the Gebirgsjäger units honed their skills in rock climbing, skiing, and survival in extreme conditions. These specialized troops would later prove their worth in campaigns across Europe, from the mountains of Norway to the Caucasus region. As tensions in Europe escalated and war loomed on the horizon, Dietl's expertise caught the attention of Hitler and the German High Command. They recognized that mountain troops would be essential for operations in rugged terrain, particularly in Scandinavia. Dietl's reputation as a skilled mountain warfare tactician made him the natural choice to lead a crucial part of the planned invasion of Norway, codenamed Operation Weserübung. On the 9th of April 1940, Dietl's meticulous preparations were about to face their ultimate test. On that fateful morning, 10 German destroyers sailed to Ottafjord, carrying Dietl's mountain troops toward their target, the Norwegian port of Narvik. This small force was tasked with a mission of immense strategic importance. Narvik, with its ice-free harbor and railway connection to Swedish iron ore fields, was crucial for Germany's war effort. The German plan was to swiftly capture the port, secure the surrounding area, and establish a foothold for further operations in Norway. The initial phase of the invasion went according to plan. Dietl's troops, benefiting from the element of surprise, quickly overwhelmed the local Norwegian forces and seized control of Narvik. However, their success was short-lived. On April 10th, just a day after the landing, the British Royal Navy engaged the German destroyers in the First Battle of Narvik. The engagement resulted in significant losses for the Germans, with 2 destroyers sunk and others heavily damaged. The situation deteriorated further on April 13th, when the Second Naval Battle of Narvik unfolded. This time, the British dealt a devastating blow to the remaining German naval forces. 3 more German destroyers were sunk, and the rest were forced to scuttle due to a lack of fuel and ammunition. With half of the Kriegsmarine's destroyer strength now at the bottom of Ottafjord, Dietl's forces found themselves in a precarious position. Cut off from supplies and reinforcements, Dietl faced a daunting challenge. His small force of mountain troops was now outnumbered by a growing Allied presence that included Norwegian, British, French, and Polish troops. The harsh Arctic environment, which Dietl had trained his men to endure, now threatened to become their undoing as supplies dwindled. In response to this dire situation, Dietl employed a series of innovative tactics. He ordered the sailors from the sunken ships to join his ground forces, bolstering his numbers and firepower. Dietl also made effective use of the mountainous terrain surrounding Narvik, positioning his troops in defensive positions that maximized their ability to repel Allied attacks. As the battle for Narvik intensified, Dietl's leadership and tactical skills were put to the test. Allied forces launched several counterattacks, attempting to dislodge the Germans from their positions. Each time, Dietl's troops managed to hold their ground, despite being vastly outnumbered and undersupplied. Dietl's ability to inspire his men and make the most of limited resources proved crucial in these desperate moments. The siege of Narvik dragged on for weeks, with Dietl's forces facing increasingly dire circumstances. Food and ammunition were running low, and the constant Allied pressure threatened to break German lines. Yet Dietl's troops continued to resist and later recaptured the town after Britain abandoned its attempt to expel the Germans from Norway, following Germany's victories on the Western Front. Dietl's tenacity at Narvik earned him Hitler's favor. On June 9, 1940, Eduard Dietl became the first German soldier to receive the Oak Leaves Cluster to the Knight's Cross, a testament to his remarkable defense of Narvik. This honor, bestowed upon him by Hitler himself, solidified Dietl's position as one of the Führer's most trusted generals. The invasion of the Soviet Union marked a turning point in Dietl's career. Promoted to Generaloberst, he found himself commanding the 20th Mountain Army on the harsh northern Eastern Front. Dietl initially turned down his promotion, but was convinced to accept the appointment by General Alfred Jodl. Dietl was sent to Finland with the intent of becoming the hero in the snow, paralleling Rommel, who was envisioned as the hero in the sun, in a different secondary theater, thereby allowing Hitler to remain at the forefront on the main stage. Here, Dietl faced not only a determined enemy, but also the unforgiving Arctic environment. The challenges were numerous: maintaining supply lines, protecting against frostbite, and maintaining morale in the face of constant darkness. Despite these obstacles, Dietl's forces pushed forward, participating in the German advance towards Murmansk. However, the results of the Arctic campaign proved disappointing for the Wehrmacht. Outnumbered and ill-equipped for the extreme conditions, Dietl's troops struggled to make significant gains against the Soviet defenders. By 1944, the strategic situation for Germany had become increasingly dire. The Allies had landed in Normandy, the Soviets were pushing westward, and the German forces were stretched thin across multiple fronts. In the Arctic, where Dietl commanded the 20th Mountain Army, the situation was equally precarious. The harsh environment and limited resources made it challenging to maintain defensive positions against the ever-encroaching Soviet forces. It was in this context that Dietl had his final meeting with Hitler. The meeting was marked by disagreements over troop deployments. Dietl, drawing on his experience in the Arctic theater, proposed using soldiers from Norway to support operations on the Eastern Front. This suggestion did not sit well with Hitler, who had his own ideas about troop allocation. On June 23, 1944, a Junkers Ju-52 aircraft took off from Munich, carrying not only Dietl but also 3 other high-ranking officers: General der Infanterie Thomas Emil von Wickede, General der Gebirgstruppe Karl Egelseer, and Generalleutnant Franz Rossi. Their destination was Salzburg, where they were to attend a military conference. As the plane soared through the skies over Austria, little did anyone know that this would be Dietl's final journey. The flight never reached its destination. Near the town of Rettenegg in Styria, Austria, the aircraft encountered severe weather conditions. Visibility was poor, and the pilot struggled to maintain control of the plane in the turbulent air. In a tragic turn of events, the Ju-52 crashed into the mountainside, killing all on board. The loss of Dietl and the 3 other generals was a significant blow to the German military, particularly in the northern theater of operations. Dietl's expertise in mountain and Arctic warfare was unparalleled, and his leadership had been crucial in maintaining German positions in Norway and Finland. The 20th Mountain Army, now without its experienced commander, struggled to maintain its defensive positions against the advancing Soviet forces. After the war, the darker aspects of Dietl's ideological commitment began to surface. He was implicated in the implementation of the infamous Commissar Order, which called for the summary execution of Soviet political officers. Under Dietl's command, German forces in Norway and Finland employed slave laborers in penal camps, where conditions were brutal and often fatal. These camps operated on the principle of extermination through work, with arbitrary shootings and sadistic abuse being common practices. At one stage, penal soldiers were required to march from Rovaniemi to Petsamo on the Arctic Ocean. Those who became too exhausted during the march were executed. On June 16, 1942, Dietl himself delivered a speech threatening to execute any penal soldiers who refused to participate in the marches. Dietl's commitment to National Socialism predated his military successes in Norway. His refusal to assist in suppressing the Beer Hall Putsch in 1923 demonstrated his early alignment with Hitler's movement. He was also a founding member of the NSDAP. Dietl's reputation underwent a dramatic reassessment. The Bundeswehr and the German federal government recently decided to revoke honors for Dietl due to his recently uncovered views on marriage between Scandinavian women and his soldiers. These views were considered extreme even by the standards of the Third Reich. Dietl issued an order labeling Norwegian and Finnish women as racial flotsam, prompting intervention from Himmler himself to rescind it. The man who was once called the hero of Narvik now serves as a warning about the dangers of extreme political loyalty. Dietl's story shows how historical figures can be complicated, especially when they find military success while backing a destructive regime. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video informative. If you enjoyed learning about today's topic, make sure to check out our other World War II videos. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more World War II content. And we'll see you in the next one.